10 weirdest things caught in the ocean. Many wonders of the underwater world aren't even native to the Big Blue. Shipwrecks, entire cities, and treasure are just some of the incredible man-made things that lie on the seabed, just waiting to be found. However, not all things wait to be found. Plenty of crazy and cool stuff has washed up on shores across the globe. Whether it's giant Lego men, transparent shrimps, or alien-like creatures, these items certainly raise some serious questions. With that said, stick around to see our list of 10 weirdest things caught in the ocean, some of which even made it onto shore, and be reminded of just how mysterious a place the ocean still can be. Number 10. Brian Allison's skull. Finding skulls isn't an extremely rare occurrence while you're out in the vast waters, but this scenario has a rather chilling revelation. A fisherman known as Barry Hunter was about his business when he trawled a skull fragment while fishing near the mouth of River Tyne, about 280 miles north of London. However, it wasn't an ordinary find, as Hunter turned the bone over to authorities, and forensic tests confirmed that it belonged to Brian Allison, one of two fellow fishermen who disappeared when their trawler sank during rough weather in the area on the 17th of November, 2004. As it turns out, Mr. Hunter personally knew the Brian Allison in question, as he was a dear friend who went missing while fishing with his brother. Their mother, Roseanne Allison, was given the news on the same day that would have been Robert's 37th birthday. She said it brought back the awful memories of that fateful day, but hopes it will give the family some closure. Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, and you will get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it, it really works. Number 9. Chimera Lobster. A blue lobster may not raise any eyebrows, and neither would a red lobster, but the discovery of a two-toned lobster off the coast of New Brunswick had one fisherman, Jim Mataronis, shocked after he got a look at a rare specimen most people may not even know exists. This lobster is so rare that a person only has between a 1 in 50 million to 100 million chance of capturing one. By comparison, the odds of finding a blue lobster are about 1 in 4 million. Ideally, the color of a lobster's shell is a mix of yellow, red, and blue, a combination that results in the usual brownish-green color of most lobsters. The lack of blue and yellow resulted in the unusual surprise. This two-toned lobster has half of its body normal, mottled brown color, while the other half is a bright red as a result of a genetic mutation. Jim, who captured the rare lobster, decided to donate this beautiful catch to the Huntsman Fundy Discovery Aquarium instead of keeping it for himself. Number 8. Giant squid. Okay, at first, I thought I was looking at an alien. Divers, two brothers, visiting New Zealand's south coast of Wellington, were looking for a nice spot to go spearfishing on a chill Saturday morning when they spotted one of the ocean's most impressive creatures of the deep, a dead but fully intact giant squid. The discovery stunned them so much that they had to get a measuring tape to measure the squid that was about 13 feet long. Scientists know very little about these deep-sea dwelling species because the animals are so rarely seen. Most observations come from the occasional specimen washing ashore, as in this case, or getting accidentally captured by fishers. The brothers contacted the National Institute of Water and Atmospheric Research, who made arrangements to have the squid removed. They confirmed that it was just a giant squid and not a colossal squid. The largest giant squid on record measured in at 40 feet in length, so this squid still had a lot of growing to do. The cause of its sad fate was unknown at this stage, but the divers suspected the light scratches. Number 7. Giant 18-inch long shrimp. Steve Bergeron was out fishing in Fort Pierce, Florida, when he pulled this monster up from the water. Then he did what anyone would do. He took out his phone and snapped some photos for social media. However, he didn't only share it with his friends, but decided to share the photos with the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, which posted them on its Facebook page. Scientists there weren't immediately sure of what he'd found, but initially identified it as being a member of the mantis shrimp family, which aren't true shrimps, but are another delicious crustacean. As much as Steve never devoured his find, The question we asked ourselves was, are mantis shrimps delicious? Number 6. Translucent shrimp. We've seen a giant squid and a giant shrimp, so a transparent shrimp sounds like the ocean is taking it too far. What if I tell you it's not a rare occurrence? A keen fisherman from New Zealand, Stuart Fraser, was left baffled when he caught this translucent shrimp-like creature when he was fishing 43 miles north off the Kari Kari Peninsula. This wobbly shrimp-like creature is completely see-through, so he plucked the bizarre creature from the water and took a photo. He claimed to have never seen anything like it before and had no idea what it could be, so curiosity got the best of him as he examined it further. According to Stewart, it felt scaly and was quite firm, almost jelly-like, and you couldn't see anything inside aside from this orange little blob inside of it. All of his fisherman friends were also baffled as to what the find was and couldn't point out what the creature could have been. A researcher from one aquarium had one theory to explain the mysterious fish. It could be a salpomagior, a kind of marine invertebrate. Salps, as they are more commonly known, are found in both equatorial and cold seas, so the waters around New Zealand's Kari Kari Peninsula would be more than suitable for the translucent sea creature. They are spotted swimming alone just as often as they are seen in long string-like colonies. As a harmless creature that feeds only on plankton, a salp's see-through body is believed to be designed to avoid it being spotted by predators when floating near the surface. One remarkable species survival technique is the ability to create a clone of itself when food is abundant. Number 5. Basket star. I don't care what anyone says, this is a sea monster. Can you see that writhing mass of tentacles? This bizarre relative of the starfish, known as the basket star, was caught off the coast of Singapore. Despite being rarely seen, basket stars live along the Pacific coast from the Bering Sea to Southern California. Junior Same, a business executive from Singapore, claims to have caught and filmed the animal. Basket stars have 5 arms radiating from a central disc, like other members of the echinoderm family, which include starfish, sea urchins, and brittle stars. But they differ from starfish. For example, because each arm branches out into countless flexible others, they can be used by the creature to create a tangled mesh. Well, this adds to ensnare its prey underwater. They also use them to move along the floor and climb coral. Worry not, this scary monster-like creature doesn't feed on human flesh, but instead survives on plankton or small crustaceans, and for this reason, they can be found 6,564 feet below the waves. They, however, thrive better in depths between 50 to 500 feet. They can live up to 35 years, weigh up to 5 kilograms, and their arms can stretch over 70 centimeters long. Number 4. Lego Man. Imagine taking a morning jog by the beach only to stumble upon a giant Lego Man figure. Strange? Lego people wash up on beaches more often than you might expect. Jeff Hindman spotted an 8-foot-tall Lego Man was found washed up in the pre-dawn light while walking on Siesta Key Beach, south of Sarasota, Florida, and dragged it ashore. Emblazoned on the 100-pound fiberglass character's green shirt was the message, "No real than you are," and the name Ego Leonard on the back. In 2007, a Lego Man appeared on the beach in Holland, and a similar incident took place in England during 2008. This peculiar stunt has been pinned on Dutch artist Ego Leonard, who hails from a virtual world according to his website. The Lego brand denied any affiliation to the giant Lego men and said they were counterfeit, but it could have been a marketing stunt considering they just opened the Legoland amusement park near Orlando. So where did it come from? With no one claiming the figure, Hindman, the man who discovered it, had plans of auctioning it on eBay. Number 3. Crime-solving shark. This is no ordinary shark tale where the shark attacks and becomes the villain. It's one of Australia's most infamous crime stories. A 14-foot tiger shark had been caught off the Coogee Beach in Sydney by a local fisherman named Bert Hobson after it got tangled in the line while eating a smaller shark that Hobson had hooked. He and his son hauled the fish to shore and brought it to the Coogee Aquarium and Swimming Baths, run by Hobson's brother, to be exhibited. After a few days in which it seemed to adjust to its new home, the shark became irritable and began behaving erratically. Little did they expect it to vomit as spectators screamed in fear when a bird, a rat, a load of muck, and get this, a human arm with a piece of rope tied around it floated to the surface. The police were called, and the coroner and a shark expert examined the arm. They concluded that it had not been bitten off, as there were no tooth marks anywhere, and the limb had been cleanly removed at the shoulder with a blade. The tattoo on the arm was the only piece of information the police could use to determine the identity of the victim. As it turns out, it belonged to James Smith, a bookie, amateur boxer, and small-time crook who'd gone missing. Smith's case was never solved, but rumors speculated that he was a police informant, charmingly known as a fizz gig in early 20th century Australian slang, and was taken out by bank robber Eddie Wayman after Smith provided info that led to his arrest. As for the shark, it was put to sleep and opened up in a search for more of Smith's remains. But like the man whose arm it swallowed, the fish's days as an informant were done. And with that, it's now time for today's best pick. Today's photo was sent to us by a subscriber, so if you come across a photo online and want to know more details about it, just send it over to us. We might even feature it on our future video. Number 2. Cyclops Albino Shark. In this world of Photoshop and online scams, it pays to have a hearty dose of skepticism at reports of something strange, including an albino fetal shark with one eye smack in the middle of its nose like a cyclops. This is a real-life marvel of science caught by a commercial fisherman in the Gulf of California. Cyclopia is a real developmental anomaly in which only one eye develops. However, for this shark, which was also albino, the discovery was so rare that researchers attested to have known less than 50 abnormal cases of similar occurrences. Most likely, the embryo was an accident of genetics. Number 1. Bananas. Containers carrying some rather interesting contents around get washed up to shore quite often. This particular occurrence was very interesting because locals from Terschelling Island, 70 miles north of Amsterdam, were welcomed with tons of bananas on their seashore after at least 6 containers fell off of a cargo ship in a storm and one burst open. A half-mile stretch of the beach was littered with bunches of unripe banana fruit, which also washed up on the neighboring Ameland Island. Terschelling residents are no strangers to stuff turning up on their beach. A year before this banana incident, thousands of tennis shoes, aluminum briefcases, and children's toys washed ashore, drawing crowds of treasure-hunting residents. Plenty of beachcombers and other locals flocked to collect the bananas, and reports claim that everyone on the island could have walked with or had at least a bunch. It wasn't immediately clear what would happen to the remaining bananas. However, some locals had suggested sending them to nearby zoos. Thanks for watching. If you know of any other crazy catches, let me know in the comments below.